And a good evening. Welcome out to Little Woodrose. Harold Mann with you, along with Lamar University head football coach Pete Rossomando. Time now to talk Cardinal football. Looking back at last week's homecoming game against Stephen F. Austin, coach, let's first talk about the homecoming festivities. Unfortunately, with the burn ban in Jefferson County, unable to do the bonfire, but just talk about everything leading up to kickoff, the excitement in your team and the crowd, the atmosphere, everything involved with that.
Yeah, nobody was more disappointed in the burn ban than Dr. Jaime Taylor because he loves his flamethrower and he gets that bonfire up in a hurry with that flamethrower.
He gets to ignite it. With
He will say that's the nerd in him. You know, he loves that. He loves to use fire to burn stuff down. So. He's disappointed, but, man, we had a great pep rally that night and, with music and the cheerleaders and the dance team, and it was a lot of fun. And then we obviously had the concert Friday night with Waka Faka Flame, who did a great job. And
did you go to the concert?
No. We were in meetings at the time, and we were able to stay at a hotel that night, which that's a blessing. So. But yeah, it was a great weekend, great crowd. You know, the walk to the stadium through the tailgates was incredible. You know, of course, walking through the Silver Bullet tailgate, those guys were they were going crazy over there. It was fun to be around them and get the team through there, and the crowd was awesome. You know, almost 10,000, and you could tell it was loud.
Talk about the decision to stay, although you're playing a home game, to stay in a hotel the night of homecoming. Now, this happens all across the country. Teams, even though they play at home, will stay at a hotel every Friday night.
Yeah, I think it allows you to get a good night's sleep, but I think our guys do a really good job most times. But I think there was just so much going on and so much family and friends coming in. It was probably best just to sequester a little bit and, make sure that they got the night's sleep that they needed.
All right, let's talk about the game a little bit. Unfortunately, a 27-20 setback to Stephen F. Austin. On the offensive side of the ball, Robert Coleman, 22 out of 41, 279 yards passing, and a touchdown. Talk about Robert's play against SFA.
I thought he played pretty well. I mean, to be honest with you, there were a bunch of drops in the game, but really thought he played well. He made good decisions with the ball. There were a couple third downs that, obviously we would like to have back, and I'm sure he would too. But, I think for the most part, he gave us an opportunity to win the game.
You brought in Jacoby, and talking about Jacoby Longino. We saw him earlier this year against Texas Southern when Robert didn't play. You brought him in special packages.
Yeah.
And he even scored a touchdown. You got to love that. Aggressiveness, the athletic ability to dive to get that ball on the pylon.
Yeah, I mean, he's a complete player, for sure. And I think we have enough confidence in him to put him in the game and make sure that, I know he's going to take care of the ball. I know he's going to make good decisions. And, we're going to continue to do that and continue to use him. I always, we do play 8 offensive linemen. We play 9 defensive linemen. So why wouldn't you play a quarterback if he knows what he's doing and he's capable of doing what you want him to do? So I think in those instances we're gonna play him and we're gonna let him get in the game and do some stuff rather than sit on the sideline and watch. So proud of him. Gino's done a really good job of staying engaged when he wasn't the starter, and he continues to do that. So we're proud of him, and we're hoping that is going to help us get a victory.
Let's talk about the rushing game a little bit. Of course, number 6 out there, Robert Kalen Griffin, 59 yards, a touchdown. He averaged nearly 5.5 a carry.
Yeah, he's playing good, and I think the O-line played well enough to open up some holes for him. And it's always great having him. He's a tough-ass dude and really plays hard, and love to watch him play, love to watch him compete. He's obviously our captain, so. Kalen just continues each and every week to do the things that we want him to do.
Another guy, that I really think you get tough yardage out of when you put him out there is Damian. Damian Moore, he had 35 yards rushing, but, they were 35 tough yards. He's a competitor when he gets that football.
Yeah, he's a physical presence for sure. And, he's got a lot of carries under his belt from when he was at Cal. And, it's just great to see him continue to get better. And I think those guys feed off each other a little bit. They have a great rapport in the running back room. Really, all those guys that played in the game, and R.J. Carver and Major Bowden and Xavier Coleman. All those guys played, and they all feed off each other and support each other and really do a great job of being good teammates.
Andre Dennis on a jet sweep near side on the home side, 1 carry, 21 yards, and we saw what he can do if he gets a little step in open field.
Yeah, no, he can go for sure. He's explosive, and we're just really starting to get him cranked back up again, and hopefully this week will be the week that he has a huge game.
Receiving is number 7, man. That's all you can say. Savon Ray, 166 yards receiving, including an 80-yard. That drive was easy to cap, one play, 80 yards. I think that corner for Stephen F. Austin, you might want to look out on the field, see if his shoes are still. I'm going to use shoes. There's another piece of equipment people say you get faked out of. I'm going to use shoes. His shoes may be out there because once Savon put that move on him, he spun around and Savon was gone.
Yeah, he's got speed. He's definitely got speed to burn for sure. And he's, I always love it when your best leaders and kids are your best players, and he's certainly that right now, and we appreciate everything he does for the team and for the community. And we were talking on Tuesday morning, and as we walked out to practice, and I was in my office after the game, and he's walking out onto the field after the game in his pants with his little son. And they're walking out. His son's got his helmet on, and he's got a football, and he's going to go play with his son out on the field. And, just that, no matter what happens in the game, and games are the most important thing that we do, but you still got to be a good dad. You still got to be a good husband. And, just seeing him do that, I know he's a great human being. And not only that, but, man, he's making big-time plays for us right now.
Tight end play, Ja'Cory, once again, he's a big frame out there. He made some key catches for you.
Yeah, Corey's playing pretty good. He got a little dinged up. He got a little bruised, but he's back and practiced all week. Didn't miss a day. And he's a good player, man. He's coming into his own. You love to see when guys that have been in your program and continue to work and learn, and he's starting to come into his own now.
Yeah, when it comes down to a final play like we had on Saturday, it's about clock management. I thought you managed the clock very well. The next to last play, in a lot of people's minds, you're going to throw it downfield, but you throw a pattern to the sideline. Fusilier to get a little bit closer. He steps out with 2 seconds to go.
Yeah.
And
we just wanted to get closer, give us a better opportunity to have some different options and make sure we get the ball in the end zone. That's obviously on that last drive, you got to make sure you put the ball up in the end zone because you're not going to have any time on the clock once that ball hits the ground.
What do you think when the ball's in the air? I mean, it's a jump ball down there. Anything could happen.
Yeah, I mean, we obviously you saw it right. Monday night with the Jets and Aaron Rodgers, who tends to be pretty exceptional at it. He has 4 of them. Yeah. But, yeah, you just, you had Jaden Boyd in there, and you had Savon, and you had Andre Dennis and Kindon, and you figured, hey, man, you got your best guys in there, and if you got your best guys in there and you throw the ball up, I mean, what else can you have? What else could you ask for, right? You get your best players in the end zone, and you get the ball up. So, we took a shot, and that's what it was.
Of course, it's just everybody going for the ball. You practice it quite a bit. Do you try to work on the receiver go up, catch the ball? Do you want to try to slap it to someone trailing, or you just fight for the ball?
You want to try to catch the ball. I mean, that's obviously the number one goal, right? So if Jaden Boyd he's our jumper, so he's got to jump and try to catch it. If he can't catch it because one arm is held down or something, his job is to tip the ball to one of his teammates or at least keep the ball active.
And there's a lot of pushing, shoving, grabbing. You're not going to see a interference flag on a Hail Mary.
No. As I told the guys in the huddle before, I said just go down, do whatever you got to do to catch the ball. Don't worry about it. If we get a flag, I mean that'd be terrible, but they'd make us replay the down.
Yeah, you get another play?
That's right.
All right. That's Cardinals. We'll talk about the defensive side of the football. When we come back, again, we're at Little Woodrow's talking Lamar University football with Coach Pete Rossomando on News Talk 560 KLVI. Here we are at Little Woodrow's. Come on out and see us. We're each and every Wednesday night during the duration of the Lamar football season. Cardinals getting ready to hit the road Saturday at Texas A&M Commerce. We'll talk about that here in just a little bit. Again, talking about Saturday's homecoming setback 27-20 to Stephen F. Austin. We went over the offense on the first segment. Let's talk a little about your defensive play. Jalen Freeman, Kristen Pugh, Ronnie Hamrick, all leading the way with 8 tackles. For Christian, 5 were solos unassisted.
Yeah, I mean, I think Jalen Freeman played a great game for sure up front. I think he made some big-time plays, especially late in the game on that third down, to get the ball back with 2 minutes left. I thought he did, played really, really good, showed great leadership. Christian continues to play well at the safety position. I think early on in the game we gave up some short throws, long runs. We for some reason lost leverage a couple times on the perimeter. You can't do that. We needed to correct that, and I thought we did in the second half. We started to do a really good job of bottling them up a little bit and getting them to third down. They didn't really love that third and long set, and sacked them 3 times, which I'm not sure we had 3 sacks in a game in the last couple weeks, so it was good to see that. And 3 of them came from our linebacker position, and Faulkner, and 2 by Faulkner and 1 by Ken Savannah. So those guys all played really good. I thought our linebackers played well. Tomac, Bright, Banda played really well, and those guys are starting to play good. And we played a really good freshman that we really have started to bring along, C.J. Miller from Anna High School. He was the Defensive Player of the Year in that conference, and he's really starting to come along and play really, really well. So he's playing a lot more reps for us.
You mentioned Caleb out there. Good to see that big number 99 out there. Although he may not get all the tackles or whatever it may have you, but he's throwing some of those offensive linemen around. It's fun to watch.
He affects the game.
Yeah.
He really does, and it's fun to have him out there. He's a great competitor, and he's a guy. Obviously he's our captain. He's a leader, and we need to have him out there playing, and he's doing everything we're asking him to do right now. So we just got to keep him healthy and keep him out there and make sure that he's doing all the things, take care of his body, so he can play, the last 6 games of the season.
Did they throw the ball more than you thought they would coming in, as they put the ball up 37 times?
They did. They threw it way more than we thought, and again, a lot of them. I think 220 yards of their throw game was behind the line or at the line of scrimmage. So it was more catch and runs than it was anything else. So maybe an extension of their run game. But, we really geared up. Part of our game plan was gearing up to stop the run and making sure that we turned them into a one-dimensional team. And, unfortunately, we did.
Yeah. We talked about Quaylen Jones last Wednesday on the show, the running back number 23 there for SFA. He ended up with 119 yards rushing. I don't know if you can say it's a quiet 119, because 119 is 119.
Yeah. No, I mean, he's a Baylor transfer.
Right.
He's a bigger back, but I really, we had trouble against the bigger back when we played Texas Southern. And I think our guys did a really good job this time of getting them down on the ground and tackling them and doing some of the things that are important to stop the run. And good player, Quaylen's a good player, and he can really play. But I thought our guys did a pretty decent job with him. We kind of let him break contain a couple times, which obviously you can't do. You got to leverage the football, and we didn't do a great job of that at times.
Crazy play. We had a kickoff. That was a kickoff punt. It was a kickoff where your downfield player pursuing loses his helmet.
Yeah.
But he continues to chase down the return man, and that brings out a flag. I talked to you a little bit about this on Monday. Just talk about the safety angles, the safety protocols with that. But when you're a player, I mean, your first train of thought is go get the guy with the ball. And we lost a helmet, but unfortunately a flag came out. But we had multiple flags on that play, by the way. But a flag came out because once your helmet comes off, you got to stop.
You have to stop playing. I mean, that's a fact. And I think in the heat of the battle, Andre just didn't. You just don't think of those things. You just keep rolling. And obviously, we gotta educate them better and making sure they understand that. Not only him, but the rest of the team. We've talked about it.
Yeah.
Something that we definitely discussed. We anytime someone comes off. Helmet comes off in practice, we talk about it and what you can and can't do with your helmet on and off. And but the key is, how did the helmet come off?
I was getting ready to say with Andre, the helmet did not magically pop off his head.
No. It didn't magically pop off. It got ripped off, and it was on film, and we saw it. And the official missed it, and that's okay. But that wasn't just because Andre threw his helmet off because he wanted everybody to see his long hair. He got his helmet ripped off.
He's got that hair going everywhere.
Yeah, he got it. So again, I don't mind aggressive plays that lead to penalties. You don't want penalties, obviously, but the things you don't like are the pre-snap penalties and the discipline penalties. And I think we can avoid those two penalties. I'll be a happier coach. I didn't say happy. I said happier.
Happier.
Right.
You had 6 penalties, which in a coach's mind is 6 too many. But realistically, in a game, that's really not that many, is it?
No, I thought 2 were really avoidable. 2 were false starts, and obviously you want to avoid those. But I think overall we played a pretty clean game, and I thought the O-line and D-line both played really, really well. And it was obviously super competitive game. You had 2 good teams, and they were going at it, and only one team can win. So we didn't. We want to win, and we need to win, and we put everything into doing that, but it just didn't happen on that day, and we need to figure out why.
Putting the final touches on the SFA game for now. We may recap it a little bit later on, but talk about your special teams play.
We missed an extra point.
Yeah.
Obviously, never good when you miss extra points. And I said this in the press conference after the game: is really, really good teams don't have false starts, and really, really good teams don't miss extra points, and really, really good teams don't turn the ball over in critical situations. So those are things that we have to continue to improve on and take note of. And our guys they understand it, and obviously they're all smart football players. They get what it takes to win. So as we put this thing to bed, this game, and we put it to bed on Monday, it really is about just cleaning those things up and making sure that we have the goods to continue to move forward and win games.
We're at Little Woodrow's talking Lamar University football with Coach Pete Rossomando. We're back on News Talk 560 KLVI. Welcome back out to Little Woodrow's. We're talking Lamar University football. I'm Harold Mann, along with Lamar football coach Pete Rossomando. Thanks for coming out here tonight. And also, thanks for tuning in, either on AM 560 KLVI or KLVI on your iHeart Radio app. Good way to tune in. But we love seeing you out here each and every Wednesday. A lot of fun. And again, Coach,
it is, yeah.
How about this crowd out here tonight? This is awesome.
Great crowd. Good to see a sea of red out there. We love it. Go Cards.
Go Cards. Coming up this week, you guys travel 4.5 hours, or a little over 4.5 hours, up to Commerce, Texas.
Yeah, right outside of Dallas.
Have you ever been to Commerce, Texas?
No, sir. No, sir. Been to East Texas, haven't been to Commerce.
Well, I went there for basketball 2 years ago, I think it was, and there's a lot of, I don't know about the buses, but in a vehicle, there's a lot of farm-to-market roads you weave your way in and out of, and then finally you come around this corner and there's a town. It's Commerce, Texas.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be fun. I mean, obviously, historic program in Division II football, won a national championship, and, really, really Coach Dozel and his staff are doing a great job up there, and watching them on tape for the last 2 years, and see the improvement of what they're doing and how they're doing it and the types of players they're getting and the schemes are all, they're doing a good job. He's doing the same thing we did when we came here, he's turning around a culture and a program.
They're coming in on the year, 1-5 in the year, 1-1 in league play. Last week, 42-21 win at Northwestern State. So they're coming in, and on top of that, it's homecoming up there for Commerce, and they're coming off a win.
Yeah, I mean the decisive win. I thought they played very well on the road at a tough place to play because of all the environmental problems that you can have there from a locker room conditions and things like that. So they did a good job, and they went out and got a decisive win in conference, which never easy. So it's good to see. It's good to see them go out and do that, and then they come in on a winning streak, and obviously we're 0-1 in the conference, and they're 1-1, so we gotta figure out a way to beat them, and you schedule people for homecoming, but it's sometimes just where it falls on the schedule based on the university calendar, but I'm sure they think this is a game they can win, so we've been telling our players that all week.
One of their losses on the road against then number 18 ranked UC Davis. That's a team that seems like they're in the FCS playoffs every year. I think they're out of the Big Sky, if I'm correct. So they've played some tough competition along the way.
I mean, they played San Diego State. I think it was 7-0 at halftime. Now they wound up losing, I think, 45-14. But I think overall, they were in that game at the beginning of it, playing good defense, and then, Cal Davis, they played really well, and then they played Sacramento State, and they're a good team, and they're having a tough year this year, but, historically, really good football team, and they played a much improved Grambling team at home and lost in overtime. So, I think they're a quality opponent for us. They got a good quarterback play right now. They have who actually is a former Lamar football player, Ron Peace, played here 3 years ago. Went to community college and then went there. So it's going to be a heck of a game. I think both teams can move the ball. Both teams can play some stingy defense when they want to, and both teams do a really good job on special teams. So I think it's going to be a heck of a game.
Yeah, you talk about Ron Peace last week, 275 yards passing, 3 touchdown passing. He also rushed for 39 and had a rushing touchdown. Does he mix it up quite a bit? Is he versatile, or is he more of a passing quarterback?
He's a thrower. He's got really good arm talent, good anticipation with the ball. When you watch him, he kind of knows what he's doing with the ball, and as far as what in their offensive scheme, and they got some receivers that can play. So. They give you some problems. They spread the ball out. They get it to a bunch of different guys. They don't have just one guy they're trying to get the ball to. And if you give him the opportunity, he's going to take off and hurt you with his legs. I don't think that's what they want to do with him all the time. But he's good enough to do it. Yeah, for sure.
You talk about the receiver. I was going to point out 2 of them here. He does mix it up quite a bit when he passes the ball around the field. Christian Jourdain, 3 receptions, 59 yards receiving, and 2 touchdowns. And Jordan Hamilton, 3 receptions, 46 yards receiving, 2 touchdowns. So, as you just touched on, Coach, he doesn't really have that one targeted guy. He'll spread it around the field.
I wish they had a targeted guy. That makes life a lot easier for you. Does a good job of spreading it out, takes what the defense gives them. Both of those guys are excellent wideouts. They catch the ball extremely well. They run good. They're really quick. You hate to get in I think they can make you miss in a phone booth kind of guys. Those types of guys. So, and they got sticky hands. They can really bring the ball in. So, we're gonna have to play good defense. We're gonna have to play stingy defense. We're gonna have to get guys on the ground, which is really important. Tackle, make sure we get them on the turf because and make them extend drives because any offense that's on the field for a number of drives obviously has the potential to turn the ball over or get stopped. So I think those are the things we got to look for on the defensive side of the ball.
We'll talk about their defense when we come back. Again, we're at Little Woodrow's talking Lamar University football. Cardinals coming off their homecoming game. getting ready to travel to Commerce on Saturday, 3:30 kickoff from Texas A&M Commerce. We're back on News Talk 560 KLVI. We are back at Little Woodrow's talking Lamar University football. Harold Mann along with Coach Pete Rossomando. We're not hard to find. We're out here every Wednesday night, 7 o'clock, to talk Cardinals football here at Little Woodrow's on Phelan Boulevard, right near the intersection of Dowland. Come out here underneath the outside. Boy, it feels good out here today, Coach.
Yeah, I mean, definitely different than when we first started this about 6-8 weeks ago, right?
Yeah,
it was a lot different.
With the sun shining in our eyes.
Yeah.
Things like that. All right. A little bit more about A&M Commerce. Again, that's who the Cardinals line up against up in Commerce, 3:30 Saturday afternoon. We talked about offensively. What are they going to show you defensively?
They're multiple look. You know, they're going to play 3 down front, 4 down front. They're going to play in-your-face defense on the perimeter. Corners are in your face, you know, making you work for every yard you get. And, you know, they do what we call packing the box. That means a lot of people close to the line of scrimmage. And they're going to try to do everything they can to stop the run and make you throw the ball into their press corners and their aggressive style defense. So, be a heck of a challenge for us. It was a year ago. You know, it was tough sledding early in that game. And they had an NFL defensive lineman, a kid that was drafted, that played for them. That was, he was a handful for sure. But they got some really good players. I mean, number 99, their D tackle, 55 D tackle, 91 the D end, led the conference in sacks a year ago. I think his name is Funderburk, and he had 11 sacks a year ago, and their 2 linebackers are extremely active. Their corners are all 6'2" and 6'3", so they got some guys who can play.
And with that, those 6'2", 6'3" corners, that'll be a good matchup with them and Savon. I mean, you ought to have some good matchups with your receiving corps.
Yeah, Savon, Jaden Boyd, Isaiah Jones. I mean, those guys, they're going to, obviously Isaiah's 6'4", and, Jaden Boyd's 6'4", and, Savon's 6 foot, but he can go. He can certainly run, so it'll be a challenge for those guys. And then you got Andre too, who, you better get your hands on number 1, because if you don't, he's by you in a heartbeat. So
yeah, give him that step. Let's talk about Isaiah a little bit. And I always like saying this, even when I'm doing a game. Isaiah with a Z.
Yeah,
this is a kid that's coming out of a lower classification school in East Texas, and boy, he really contributes to your offense. Wasn't he a QB in quarter? And yeah, he was a quarterback in high school.
Yeah.
He's got the good hands. He makes some good catches, and with his height, he's able to go up and pull some of them out of the sky.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw, there was a play on our sideline where we faked the screen, and he was running down the sideline. He was fairly well covered, and Robert threw it up high to take a shot. And I'm telling you, his feet were above my head. That's how high he was. I said, man. We know he's athletic for sure, but, man, that was super impressive. So, every week he continues to impress me. But he's a great kid, too. He's an awesome guy. We love him. Love having him in our program. Like, every day you go in. He's not just a football player either. He hunts. He fishes. He's an outdoors guy. He can fix anyone's car on the staff. Like, he's changed a water pump in the parking lot of our complex for Coach Gibson. He is just an amazing kid, and love being around him. And just, obviously those kinds of guys are special.
Man, he comes from a small town in East Texas.
I know.
When you do that, when you're in the piney woods, the deep east woods of Texas, you got to do everything.
Oh, he does. He hog hunts. He deer hunts. He hunts rabbits and birds, and he loves it. He'll send me pictures over Christmas break, like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 pictures. And I'm like, dude, I don't want to see dead animals. But I love that he wants to share that with us, and feels like we're part of his family.
Now, you being a city kid, growing up in the city, are you an outdoorsman at all?
In my backyard by my pool.
in your lounge chair?
Yeah, that's about it. Yeah, and I got a big TV out there, too, so we watch a lot of football.
Well, he could go out and get the deer, and you could have the deer jerky and the deer meat.
We did. He did, yeah. He actually brought me a nice a back strap, and, man, that was the best venison I've ever had. And And hey, that's from the woods of East Texas. So Norman G, Texas. So yeah, it's always great to get a little gift from Isaiah after the break.
Now, have you ever been to Norman G, Texas?
No,
I haven't either.
Never
I
been
could
there.
not tell you where it is. I just know it's somewhere in East Texas.
It's
probably close to Tyler or Longview or in that area.
I think it's more closer to College Station.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think it's closer to College
Yeah,
Station.
I would do a better job of my Texas geography. Again, you talk about
You're from Iowa, though, right?
No, yeah, I grew up in Nebraska.
Nebraska,
Last 2 years of high school were in Iowa, but I don't know.
I always say if you graduate from high school in a place, that's where you're from.
Okay, well,
So
I guess
you're from Iowa.
I'm from Iowa.
Yeah.
Here's something unique, we'll move on here real quick. I went to 2 different high schools, freshman, sophomore in Falls City, Nebraska, junior, senior in Red Oak, Iowa, both orange and black, both Tigers. What are the odds of that?
You didn't have to change clothes.
That's true. I got to keep school colors. More about their defense.
Yeah.
When you're going to try to not give out any secrets here, but mix it up a little bit, try to mix the run, because you say they stack the box, and if they're going to do that, you might want to open up the passing game a little bit, which can get them to change. Then you can go back to the run game.
I don't think that changes all that much week to week. I think everybody, you want to be as balanced as you can be. You want to try to find ways to be able to run the ball, even though maybe throwing is going to be what you really want to do in the game. And I think vice versa. You may want to pound the football between the tackles, but you have to do some good stuff throwing the football in order to loosen things up. So we're going to have a mixed game plan. We're going to do our best to try to, anything we saw on film we think we can exploit, we're going to try to do that. And I'm sure they're looking at film and doing the same thing. That's generally what people do.
All right. Tell you what we're going to do. We're going to get our final break in. Then we'll come back, recap the show as the Cardinals get ready to travel to Commerce, Texas to take on Texas A&M Commerce. We're back on News Talk 560 KLVI. News Talk 560 KLVI. Harold Mann along with Lamar University head football coach Pete Rossomando. The Coach Rossomando Show coming your way each and every Wednesday right here at Little Woodrow's off Phelan Boulevard near the intersection of Dowling. Come out and see us. Again, we're back out here next Wednesday. Coach, real quick here, the Southland Conference standings. It's kind of unique how some teams have played 3 games already in the conference, where the Cardinals and UIW and Nickel, where others have just played 1.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of it had to do with the realignment with SFA joining so late. I think there were some games that had to be moved into open days to accommodate that schedule, and obviously we were supposed to play Houston Christian on homecoming this past week, but the SFA coming into the league, they had to play the game, and that was the only game they could switch out.
Looking at the standings, Southeastern Louisiana is at 2-1. Only unbeaten team is UIW at 1-0. Now I know we've got to take them one at a time, but only one game behind us. You still have a handful of games to go.
Yeah.
Just take them one at a time, and who knows what could happen down the road.
Yeah, I mean, you can't get 2 unless you get 1, so I know that. So we got to go get 1, and hopefully that's going to happen this week. It's going to be a tough one, and like I said, it's their homecoming, so they're going to have some juice, and we got to do a really good job of going in there and taking care of our business. Can't worry about the opponents right now. You got to worry about the things that we do as a football team. That's the most important part, and I keep telling our players that every day. The opponents are faceless. It's really about what we do and how we execute.
As we look down the schedule, back-to-back road games, not home again until November 2nd against Southeastern Louisiana. If you had to get out the report card after non-conference and one conference game, just talk about each category, offense, defense, special teams, how you would grade your team right now.
I think our defense is probably a B-. I think we've done some really good things on defense, and I think we're a much better ball club on defense right now than we were a year ago from a talent standpoint and from the way the guys are playing. And so I give them a B-. I give our special teams a C. I think we can't miss extra points,
right,
and we can't miss short field goals, and we can't punt the ball in the middle of the field, and all those things that need to be corrected. And We need to be more consistent in that area of what we do, and we're moving it. We're trending in that direction. We're just not quite there yet, and what we're going to continue to improve on that. And I think, if I had to give our offense a score right now, it'd probably be a B minus, C plus, a high C plus, low B minus, and really not because we haven't moved the ball or we haven't, we faltered in the red zone too many times against too many good teams. And, I think we've not executed on third down as well as I would have expected at this point with a veteran quarterback, a veteran offensive line. I would have thought we would have executed way better on third down. And that's a coaching thing too. We have to making sure we're putting them in the right positions to do that. And, as coaches, we look long and hard at what we do too and make sure we're improving. And all those grades are all grades for the coaches as well, including me.
Coming in, one of the areas that probably need the most improvement following a couple of down years was the offensive line. And it's getting better. Just talk about your thoughts on your O-line. You're an O-line guy. Just talking about from last year up to this year, the progression of your offensive line.
I just know that a year ago we got out physicaled in a lot of football games up front on both sides of the ball. And we've really improved on both sides. And I think that a lot of it has to do with, the recruiting. Mm-hmm. But most of these guys have been here. And a lot of it has to do with our performance coach, Pat Walker, who's done an amazing job with the guys in the weight room, getting them ready to play, getting them big, getting them strong. And then of course, it's about the resources that you're provided from your institution. And, Dr. Taylor, Jeff O'Malley, Jason Baldwin, those guys all really help make sure that we're not going to have everything you need, but really give us the stuff that you need to be successful. We're not going to be Texas Tech, Texas A&M. It's just never going to be that way. But we have enough resources to get the job done at a pretty high level. And that allows the big guys to literally to eat, to take good protein shakes, to make sure that they have the best equipment they could possibly have in the weight room to get bigger and stronger and more flexible. And that's where we are on both sides right now.
I know they bust their butts in the weight room, and we talk about their eating habits. We've talked about that in the past. Nutrition, of course, is a huge thing.
Huge.
But do the boys, if they go get the Big Mac or double cheeseburger and things like that?
No, as long as they're not doing it every day. I mean, your body is like a high-performance machine. If you put 87 in there, the car's not going to run as good as if you put 93 in. So they got to keep putting good stuff in their bodies in order to get the best stuff out. And I think that's where they are. And we have a full-time dietitian, which most teams don't have in our conference. And that's a great advantage for us. Our players are able to get information that they wouldn't normally get on a daily basis. So great having our sports dietitian on staff and ready to make our guys better.
We know during the off season you hit the weights quite a bit. You have a program set up now in season.
Yeah.
How do they work their weight lifting in with practice, school, all that combined?
It's all part of our 20-hour work week. That we have to incorporate that in. But the guys that are playing the most, they only lift twice a week. So they lift Monday mornings and they lift on Wednesdays, and then we have what we call a developmental group, which is a 3-day a week, which means they're playing a little bit, but they're not starters. They're not playing. Let's say 25% is the metric we use. So they lift 3 days a week. So they'll lift Monday, Tuesday, Thursday. Sorry, and then we have a red shirt. A truly developmental group, they lift 4 days a week. So we have it's all planned out based on how many reps they're getting in the games.
So you just have that schedule posted, and they know where to be and at what time?
Yeah, we have a program called Teamworks, which is it's a calendar for all the department, but for football in general, and we're able to message each other on that. We're able to put messages out to the entire team, the entire organization, just the coaches, just the team, just the D-line, just the O-line. It's a great tool for us to be able to reach out and talk to those guys. Everyone has it on their phone, so they're able to check the schedule every day. It's all posted on there exactly what time and when they got to be there, and alerts if they want it. So it's pretty cool.
You know, in the weight room, you got the cheerers, the rooters on, things like that, pushing other players.
I mean, they should all be doing that. But, yeah, we have some guys that are what we would call hooting and hollering in the weight room.
The hooting and hollers?
Yeah, R.J. Carver is definitely one of them on the offensive side of the ball, and Ramon Stevens on defense, and those guys, Jalen Freeman, those guys get it going.
All right, Coach, got about a minute and a half to go here before we wrap it up on this Wednesday night. As always, the way I like closing it out is from the time you take these headsets off until we put that ball on the tee, 3:30 on Saturday afternoon up in Commerce. What's the schedule?
Well, I was up at 4 this morning, so I'm going to go home and get some rest.
Oh, you got to sleep in?
Yeah, for you it's sleeping in, not for me. But I'm going to get some rest. I'm going to get up early in the morning again, 4 o'clock, get my workout in. We have a team meeting at 8:15, and then we have practice, which we'll go through a lot of situations today. Tomorrow, special teams, all kinds of things like that, and then Friday we actually going to do everything at home in the morning, and then we're going to get on the bus and we're going to drive up to Richardson, and we're staying in a hotel up there. And when we get there, we usually eat dinner. We do a yoga up there as an offense and a defense, and then we do some meetings, and we do our prayer group, and we usually end with our snacks team meeting, and get to watch the highlight film from the week before. We call it the pump up film, and then Saturday it's showtime, baby.
What time do you bus over? What time do you? 3:30 kickoff. What time do you get to the stadium?
I think we leave at 11:30 and we get there at 12:30. So. That's kind of the plan. It's an hour away.
All right, Coach, we'll see you up in Commerce on Saturday and back
sir.
Here.
Careful driving.
Absolutely. I got James Dixon's driving me, so I should be all right. That's going to do it. Thanks, everybody, for coming out. The Coach Pete Rossomando Show.